everybody. So we've been spending all this time getting ready for the high holidays, but what's going to come next? Hey there, I'm Rabbi David, your Torah tech guy, and I'm happy to be here with you for another episode of Torah Tech Tips, where I share with you some great tech for your great Torah. And actually today, I do want to talk about the tech, but I really want to ask a question. What's going to come next? What's going to happen after the high holidays? And by way of introducing this, I want to share a story with you. So this is actually a story that I learned from Harry Chapin. Not personally. I was listening to a concert of his, and he told this story. It's an amazing story. Here's how it goes. A principal in a school on the Monday after Thanksgiving gathers the entire school together in the auditorium and says to them, "Children, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of all that you've accomplished. Look what we did this past week. This past week, in celebration of Thanksgiving, we collected enough food to feed 300 families a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner." What a beautiful gift. We would say, what a beautiful mitzvah, right? What a beautiful gift you all participated in to feed these families who were in need a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner. And then the principal said, but there's a problem. The problem is, what are these families going to eat next week? And so to solve this problem, or to think about this problem, we're actually going to cancel classes for the rest of this week. And we're going to focus on this. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? Imagine an educational system where that was the approach that was taken, where we do good things and then we challenge ourselves to ask the question, what's going to come next? It's not a surprising story, because I think all of us feel potentially a little more generous around the time of the holidays, around Thanksgiving or Hanukkah or Christmas for the wider world. And so we give more generously during those times. Those are, for America in some ways, the high holidays. And we focus on them intensely. But Harry Chapin asks, but what happens the next week? And I want to challenge us to ask that same question about the high holy days. I know dozens of rabbis, maybe even hundreds of rabbis and cantors and educators across the country who have spent every waking hour, every waking moment thinking about the high holy days and having to readjust their plans, right? We were all ready to do in some on-site, some hybrid multi-access services. And now so many of us are having to switch gears yet again and potentially maybe think about going back to all online services. Whether we're doing multi-access or online, my experience last year is that we put a tremendous amount of energy into the technologies and the tools and the production of the high holy day services. But what happens after that? Are we putting that same energy, that same time, that same energy, that's the word, into Shabbat Breshit, Shabbat Noach, Shabbat Lech Lecha? Are our online participants going to have the same quality experience when we're not investing thousands of dollars into the production? Did my screen just go dark? Looks like my screen just went dark. I'm not sure why. Oh well, in any case. What is that experience? What are the pieces from the high holy days that we're going to carry with us into the rest of the year? One of the challenges that we've had this past year is to not get technologies, not find tools that we can use once or twice, but that we can sustain ourselves with, that we can sustain a meaningful online presence with. Tools that can help us to create multi-access experiences, davening and learning Torah throughout the year, not just on the high holy days. I get why we're so obsessed with the high holy days. I was a congregational rabbi for 20 years. I get it. I really do. But I want to posit to you that we've created our own monster For all the complaining we do about the 3-time-a-year Jews, the 2-time-a-year Jews, why are they coming on those 2 times or those 3 times? They're coming because we have told them that these are the most important days of the year. Now, you could argue that Yom Kippur is, of course, the most important, but I think you'd have a hard time arguing that about Rosh Hashanah. More importantly, though, we have set a standard that if you do these days, you kind of did the most important work. And the technology and the energy and the time that we've put into the High Holy Days send that same message. When the production value of what we're offering on the High Holy Days is at a 9 or a 10, and the production value of what we're offering on Daily Minyan or Shabbat is at a 3 or a 4, not for lack of trying, but for lack of focus, for lack of where do we put all of our energy, then the message that we're sending over and over and over again is these are the most important days, and really the only important days. Because we've put so much energy, so much money into these days, and not necessarily as much into our regular Shabbat. So I want to challenge you on this week's Torah Tech Tips to think beyond the High Holy Days. What is Simchat Torah going to look like? What is Shabbat going to look like? What is your daily minyan going to look like? How are you going to engage people, both with high production value and also with those 3 E's, the eye contact, the engagement, and the energy? How are you going to bring that to everything that you do, not just the most important stuff? It is exhausting. I'll be the first to acknowledge that. Doing this work is exhausting. And if we feel that way around the High Holy Days, just imagine what it's going to feel like when we try and apply some of these same principles, the same amount of energy to the rest of the year. But we owe it, do we not? We owe it to those who are participating with us online. So I want to challenge you, even in the midst of the craziness of thinking about the High Holy Days, to think about what are we going to do next week? How are we going to nourish these souls? How are we going to feed these souls after Yom Kippur? What will that look like? What production do we need to bring to it? What technologies, what tools, what energy do we need to bring to the work that we do every single day, not just on the days when the most people show up? That's what I want to challenge you with this week. And I also want to challenge you to visit me online at TorahTechGuy.com. By the way, I've added a new show at TorahTechGuy.tv called Torah Tech Talks with me and Leo Mindell. Leo Mindell is an amazing, amazing leader in technology and in the Jewish community from across the pond over in the UK, and he joins me every Thursday for Torah Tech Talks, where we dive deep into your questions, what you really want to know about. So please come Thursdays at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to Torah Tech Talk at TorahTechGuy.tv. You can also find that on the website, and share your questions. Tell us what you want to know about, whether it's Torah or technology or the mixture of both, as you imagine what your Torah is going to look like beyond the High Holidays. Friends, that's it from me today. I am so excited. I'm taking my second daughter up to college tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. So proud of her. And I will see you all on Thursday at Torah Tech Talks, and next week on another episode of Torah Tech Tips. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.